Good morning and welcome. Thank you for coming today to hear about the Technicians Commitment and the work of the Science Council and the opportunities available for practicing scientists and science technicians to become professionally registered and get the recognition that they so well deserve. My name's Jane Banks and I'm from the Science Council. The cloakroom clerk today asked me where I was from. I said I'm from New Zealand. She then asked me, how's the weather down there? And I said, well, I've been in London for 35 years, so I couldn't really tell her. So I'm just going to spend a short amount of time talking about the Technician Commitment and then move on to just to let you know something about the Science Council and the professional registers that are held by the Science Council that in a sense facilitates some of what the Technician Commitment is up to. So the Technicians Commitment is a Science Council initiative and it's led by a steering group of sector bodies within higher education and research institutes, and this is the steering committee for the Technicians Commitment. It was launched in May of last year with 36 founding signatories, and we're now up to 66 signatories and growing. So it's designed really to address some of the issues facing technical careers, and these issues have been identified as the visibility, the recognition, the career development and the sustainability of technical career pathways. And so those who have signed up to the Technician Commitment at the most senior level within higher education and research institutes have pledged their commitment to making a change in those key areas. And by doing so, they'll be evaluating their impact. So we want to ensure that it's not just a tick box exercise, that there's some action that's being delivered as a result. So I'm just going to share with you a video now that will describe the work of the commitment.
The Technician Commitment is a collaborative sector-wide initiative to elevate the status and profile of technicians working across higher education and research. Universities and research institutes are invited to become signatories of the commitment, and by doing so they're signifying their support to ensuring visibility, recognition, career development and sustainability for the technical community.
I'm really pleased that we, the University of Nottingham, are founding signatory of the Technicians Commitment. It's just impossible to think that we could deliver everything we deliver in education and student experience, what we deliver in research and knowledge exchange, without the commitment of talented, capable, well-trained technicians.
So I'm delighted that King's College London is one of the founding signatories of the Technician Commitment.
This new Technician Commitment is really important to us, and I'm delighted that Loughborough is one of the founding signatories.
At VTI we know that every researcher and every technician counts. Technicians are our unsung heroes. They're our glue that holds our universities and our research together.
When I graduated from university, I moved straight into a technician role, which involved contributing to scientific papers.
When there are problems with different parts, they can come and get advice from me, and I'll try and pass on my years of knowledge and expertise.
I think the reason why we need to be more recognised is so that people do understand. Technicians tend to silently get on and make it all happen, and people don't understand what it is they're actually doing, so to have that visible recognition really helps.
I think the things with technicians is they are specialists in their field, and therefore they can offer a really high level of advice and encouragement to the students working within those disciplines.
I definitely do think it's important to attract younger people into technical careers because it's a very fulfilling career. It's a very good career path for personal development as well as technical development.
The training technicians are important because we need to have somebody coming in to fill the gaps from those who are likely to leave in the next few years. The skills need to be passed on or we risk losing the institutional memory.
So at the minute we've got about 4 apprentices in the workshop. My apprenticeship was 4 years long, so in that 4 years I've gained a great deal of experience on engineering.
I've been a technician now for 6 months, but I'm already in the process of becoming professionally registered.
Technicians Commitment, I think, we're really important for the standing, the sustainability of our workforce, and I do wish it well.
The commitment's a great way of us all acknowledging the great work that technicians do. In higher education there's a fantastic amount that's done by technicians, and the commitment is a way of us acknowledging that.
All of the Midlands Innovation Universities have collectively pledged their support to this important commitment.
I trained as a doctor and I'd been working as a junior doctor, And when I started in the lab, I knew nothing. I was a complete klutz. And the people who taught me which way was up and how to do the basics were the technical staff, and they were terrific. And for that, I'm eternally grateful.
And you'll see there just some of the signatories. So I omitted a very key supporter of the Technician Commitment, being the Gatsby Foundation Technician Make It Happen campaign. And also, just to highlight also that technicians are everywhere and they're not just in science. So the Technicians Commitment is designed for all technicians, not just technicians working in science. We've had a great deal of hubbub and sector press as a result of the campaign, and this is just some of what people have been saying. We have got 23 out of 25 of the Russell Group universities signed up, although I might have that wrong because we might have them all by now and my knowledge could be out of date. So, as I mentioned earlier, it's not just a tick box exercise, it is about stating publicly what it is that you are delivering as a signatory for the Technician Commitment. And so after 13 months, there is an expectation that you will submit a self-assessment of what it is that you've delivered against the key pillars of the campaign. And so there are 5 contextual questions that are being asked around a 24-month action plan, looking at how the technician voice has been involved in developing that action plan, publicly stating the fact that you are a Technician Commitment signatory and stating it somewhere that can be easily accessible on a dedicated web page along with a named point of contact. So any of those logos that you saw, you could go and have a look at their website and identify their action plan. And then finally, that it is signed off at the most senior level. We provide support for Technician Commitment signatories in the form of an online resource. So once you've signed up, then you get access to a free resource, and it creates a community of practice for all things Technician Commitment. There is also although signed off at a senior level, there are Technician Commitment leads that are actually taking the action forward internally. And so they come together twice a year. And last year they came obviously in May to the launch, and then in September we held an exclusive event at New Scientist Live where those who had signed up got to understand more about and share practice of what they're finding in their organisations, some of which is, what is a technician? What is the definition of a technician? And giving consideration to some of the key challenges around this community. In April, they came together again at the East Midlands Conference Centre to share their plans and share what's working, what's not working. And then also looking now at the next steps. So we're supporting the signatories on an ongoing basis. The online resource is continually being updated because the more that we learn, the more we're able to share, which is great. And the community of practice are coming together again next week. In fact, the autumn event is next week at the Tower of London, and Lord Sainsbury's will be delivering a report on the outcomes of year 1 of the Technician Commitment at that event. The second phase, so the second lot of signatories who signed up and were announced in September of last year, have been submitting their plans, their self-assessment, just by the end of this week. And also next week we'll have the announcement of further signatories at the event also. So the Science Council, moving on then, what is the Science Council and how do we support this initiative? So established by Royal Charter in 2003 to advance science and its application for public benefit, we're a membership organisation of over 40 professional bodies and learned societies for science, and collectively we represent around 500,000 individuals. And we hold the professional registers for practicing scientists, and I've put here Chartered Scientists, which was launched in 2004, but what is missing off this page is there is also an award for Chartered Science Teachers, so CSI Teach. And then what we call the technical registers, Registered Science Technician and Registered Scientist, was launched in 2012. The register currently has in the region of 13,000 on it, and the technical registers have about 1,700. And here are just some of our member organisations. Part of the process of becoming professionally registered requires that you are also a member of or become a member of a professional body, because that becomes your home of continuing professional development. So for a long time there has been a need for formal professional recognition of technical skills and a need to recognise and celebrate technical careers. You've seen this slide before. I just wanted to highlight here this piece here, which is about the recognition, and the technical registers support that recognition through professional registration. Why become registered? Well, this week at the Science Council we had the CPD Awards and showcased some of those who are registered and the CPD that they've been collecting as part of the process. And I kind of wished I could bottle some of those presentations here today to show you what is being delivered and what people are getting out of being registered. And when I'm out talking to people, what I'm finding is that quite often in your day job, you do your job and you forget that actually you are a skilled professional and that you know things that other people don't know. And so what professional registration enables you to do is actually sort of take a look at what it is that you do from day to day and demonstrate the skills and knowledge that you are currently using, and then being able to use that in your career path, getting a new job, moving sideways, showcasing it to colleagues, and you're being part of a growing community of scientists across all sectors and disciplines. At the awards this week, we had a chartered scientist who showed an MRI scanner that he operates from 20 years ago, and then he showed a picture of an MRI scanner of today. They were vastly different. And I thought that illustrated perfectly how you could say, well, I'm trained in MRI scanning, but actually are your skills current? And professional registration and maintaining your continuing professional development enables you to demonstrate that. You could give something back by becoming an assessor, because professional registration is assessed by an assessor who is a volunteer within a professional body and also somebody who is trained by the Science Council. It's a competency-based framework, which means that from A to E you can see the kinds of things that it's asking of you. So how are you applying your knowledge and your understanding in the workplace? What personal responsibility or not do you have? And the use of interpersonal skills, professional practice and professionalism. And part of becoming professionally registered also signs you up to a code of conduct. This is all a bit blinding, but I just thought I could briefly illustrate that it doesn't matter whether you're applying at the level of an RSci Tech, which is at a level 3, or a CSci, which is at a level 7. The key tenets are the same, but clearly the responsibility, the autonomy, certain things that you'll be doing clearly will be quite different. It is linear, but you might have been working for a number of years and have acquired skills and be doing things at a chartered scientist level. So it's not like you kind of have to start at an RSci Tech level. It's just, I just wanted to say that. So I've put here 5 steps to getting registered, but it's kind of not quite true, because we license the members to actually register you, and so you could go directly to a professional body to become professionally registered, or you could come directly to the Science Council website where there is an application system that you can use for that purpose. So you decide which register is right for you, then you begin your application, I've put here on the Science Council website, but you could go directly. You consider the examples that meet the competencies, and it's quite good to gather that over time. So don't just one day decide, well, I'm going to make an application. You might just like to think about the competencies and examples from your day job that fulfill them. And you could have one example that is appropriate to be used in the context of a different question. So you don't have to find too many examples. Then you select your professional body, and in this case the website gives you the option to have a look and see which one might be suitable for you, and then which assessment route to take. So you can complete in its entirety your application online in written form, or you could request a face-to-face assessment, and that would just mean that you would meet with your peers in science so that they can tease out some of, you said here this, but what did you actually mean? So they can sort of flush out a bit more potentially what you might not have articulated on paper. So if you're completing it in its entirety on paper, then you just need to make sure that what you're saying is understandable. And just briefly, I work as the Business Development Manager at the Science Council, and we have an Employer Champion program that so I work with organisations who want to offer professional registration and make that facilitation of professional registration available. So we support employers who can also become recognised for the fact that they are actively engaged in promoting professional registration. So you can take it as a given that those technician commitment signatories in higher education and research institutes are already engaging in that process and may have been awarded with an employer champion status. In fact, there are, I know, some exhibitors in the room today who are working towards becoming employer champions. And it's just showing existing staff the commitment that they're making, potential staff what a great place to work, and funders and students the quality of the work and the professionalism of staff. These are some of our already awarded employer champions. And I don't know if I've got any technicians in front of me. Have I? Are there any technicians that would identify as a technician? Yeah. So take pride in your career. We couldn't do it without you. UK science and innovation would not progress without your talent, and indeed the talent of technicians and expertise. And I've been delighted in the experience that I've gained from speaking with technicians and understanding more about what they do. And it's crucial that they're being recognised. So thank you.